All right, guys, welcome back to another edition of the Workbench, a resource-rich weekly podcast and newsletter for the local business, SMB, and home services space. Super excited to be joined here by Josh Cates, the founder and CEO of Hero Marketing. They work with a wide range of home services businesses, doing everything from pay-per-click, content, SEO, running HVAC masterminds. Really, a family-run business that's an expert. A bunch of experts in the HVAC and SMB and home services marketing space. So, Josh, appreciate you coming on. How's your week been so far?
Man, it's been good. It's Masters Week. I think every guy's excited about that around the nation, and it's end of the quarter for us, so it's a busy time of year looking back and not only looking at first quarter results, but also here comes a busy season for a lot of our clients. The weather's warming up, the technicians are getting trained, and so we're good. We're blessed. Thanks for having
Yeah.
me today.
Yeah, of course, Josh. Yeah, appreciate you coming on. So, to get things started, would love if you could just give a broad strokes intro into yourself and your business and tell us a little bit more about what it is that Hero Marketing does.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So I've been an entrepreneur going on 25 years now. I've built five companies. I've sold three. And Hero in its existence is about 20 years old. We are a family founded business. About 5 years ago, we just really fell in love with the home services space. We had the opportunity to work with a large HVAC and plumbing company in Texas, and then subsequently another large company in Colorado. And we just fell in love with this space, and we did very well with this space. I think what I like about it is, on the client side, they're looking for a reliable partner that can come alongside them and help them grow their business. And then on the agency side for us, we have clients that they always are in demand. They always need new clients. And so it's a really good marriage. We've been very fortunate to go across the nation the last couple of years with our growth. And so we've got clients from Texas to Florida, all the way up to Baltimore and Boston and across the nation, and really specialize in those companies anywhere from about 3 million a year all the way up to we even have some 20 and 30 million dollar a year clients that are like, hey, I need smarter growth tactics. I need to know how to use AI. I need to know what I need to be doing with my website. My pay-per-click's not performing. I want to turn that around. So just really stepping into their business as a partner and helping them with strategies for success.
Let's talk about the family founded part. I think you hear a lot of family founded stories on the SMB side, but for me, the family founded marketing agency is more unique. I'm actually not sure I've heard that before. So, can you talk a little bit
Mhm.
about the family founded aspect of Hero Marketing?
Yeah, absolutely. So my senior year of high school, I actually started my first business with my father. It was a healthcare business. We franchised the concept, looking for aging in place solutions for our grandparents. My great grandparents, dad's grandparents. And the business took off. I started running it my freshman year of college, and then we did a kind of a spin off of healthcare and did magazine publications. Ended up franchising that across the nation with my father, and grew to 35 markets before we sold that business. And that's really kind of our entry into media. I mean, I remember the first client that was like, what is a website? Do I need one? Do you have any experience building me a Facebook page? Hey, I think we want to start doing video advertising for our business. So we started Hero, Dad and I, back in 2005, literally in print magazines. And as the evolution into digital media and especially iPhones started, we saw the forward need for businesses to be in a digital space. And so it's kind of unique because we're not a big box company. We're not a young company that got into this space thinking it was a good opportunity. We're a company that has deep roots with our clients, deep family founded belief in how to do business, and have really evolved with digital marketing. And so my father, Bob Cates, is our current co-founder, CFO, and director of digital strategy. What's really interesting about Bob's background is when I was a little guy, he graduated college as a CPA, and his first profession was a state auditor for Texas. And then he went into business for himself when I was five. And so, fast forward to today, that background as a CPA and an auditor makes him a phenomenal director of organic digital strategy because he understands the algorithms, he understands, the fine details in SEO and Google business and how all of this organic strategy works to benefit our clientele. And so, yeah, we're really proud to still be family founded and family owned. And Bob and his team just do an incredible job at organic strategy and marketing. It's probably one of our top performing services that we offer. And then the really cool thing is my oldest daughter, my wife and I have two girls at A&M. Our oldest is a junior in PR and communications and business, and she has actually started working in the business. So this year, kind of officially, we are a 3-generation family business. And I just think that's just a cool legacy. And I think the other thing it does is it really brings those like old school business values to our clients, to where, like, I'm a Texan. My word is my bond. When I shake your hand and tell you we're going to do something for you, it is concrete. Like, I think that's what people really desire as they come to us and they're like, Josh, I've tried this, I've tried that, and I just need somebody to help me with my strategy. And that can be a $3 million business, but it can also be a $20 million business. It's like, I've hit my glass ceiling. We don't know what to do next. What strategies can we take to really take this business above and beyond where we are now? So yeah, that's a little bit about Hero.
For better or worse, marketing and marketing services is relatively low barrier to entry. Anyone can say they're an SEO expert. Anyone can spin up a website on Squarespace and say, hey, I design websites. So because of that, I think a lot of SMBs have had poor experiences with marketing agencies or marketing consultants and spammy backlinks and a website. And then when the person cancels, you hear stories where the person cancels with the agency and then the agency holds the website hostage. So those family founded values, I think, definitely sound like something that drive a lot of trust with this market. Speaking of services, I know that you guys do SEO, PPC, web design. Can you walk me through what some of the core services are and the value that you bring to your best clients?
Yeah, great question. And I totally agree with you. I think that's the one downside to our industry is, and I think the same could be said for HVAC. If I had a really bad install experience, or I had a really aggressive salesman trying to sell me on something, same thing goes for marketing. Oh, I've had a bad experience, or I was with an agency before. One of the things we stress to the listeners here today is the ownership of intellectual property. And what I mean by that is the number one most common thing I see is when a client comes to Hero, they are possibly not aware that they don't own their website. They're possibly unaware of the importance of owning their own Google ad campaign. So what happens is we start doing our due diligence and onboarding, and we quickly realize, like, we had a client in Florida last year that they were with a big box. Their revenue was starting to decline, and they were unaware that that big box agency had actually copied their site, put it on their platform, and the client no longer had ownership. We were able to remedy that, get them back the ownership of their website. But then the worst problem is, a lot of these companies make it sound great that they're going to stand up your Google ad account and run it for you. The problem is if you don't own that account, then if you choose to part ways with that company, you're literally starting all over again. You have to open a Google ad account. You have to go back through the learning. You have to go back through Google's ratings of your ads and your account, et cetera. And so it's literally like starting at the starting block again. So, I tell people, like, we're a really unique hybrid model of a marketing agency, entrepreneurs. We've been through business acquisition, so we know how to prepare business for that. Coaches, stewards. So one thing is all of our services are really packaged for the home service niche. So we have packages depending on where your revenue is, and those packages include our entire suite of services. So like you said, website, pay-per-click, Google Business, SEO, all of those things that you would expect. But here's the really cool thing and the really unique differentiator for Hero. Our entire leadership team have all worked in the home service trades. So Casey Sprayberry, our client strategy director, she built a company from 5 million to 25 million that exited to private equity with the two owners. So she has been on the backside of operations, marketing, call center, training. Jessica and Gulam, who run our paid team, they are 15 years combined in paid experience in home services. Jessica number 2, as we call her, Hero Jess, has been on the operational side of an 8-figure business. And so she's looking at job boards each week. She's doing revenue tracking for the clients. She's doing ad spend tracking. So what's interesting is, yes, we bring a professional team, all based in Texas and Colorado, to the table to deliver these services. But more importantly, we bring a team that has worked in the trades so we can have those conversations of like, hey, we're driving traffic to you. but we're seeing that maybe your customers, the customer leads to the customer service are low. What's going on? Well, maybe that's an issue with your CSRs. Maybe there is something that we've inherited where the tracking is wrong. Maybe it's something from a sales process standpoint. So what's interesting is we can speak into what happens after the lead comes in. And I think that's where most agencies drop off is they're like, well, we're going to send you leads and then it's kind of up to you. Whereas we're like, okay, we're sending you leads and your revenue is you're not following like we would expect. So let's get into the calls. Let's get into the operations and understand what's happening at a granular level so that we can coach you through so that you can find success with what we're offering. And I think of every compliment we get from our clients, the biggest thing is you guys know our business inside and out. You know the trades inside and out, and you're able to consult so far beyond just simply, hey, we provide a website and marketing services. So that's a big differentiator for us. And I think for people listening today, that's something they really need to consider is it's like dating and then marrying. Your partner, your biggest decision in life. Choosing a marketing agency is a huge decision. You need to know who you're dating and who you're going to be talking to each day and what you're going to get. It will make a difference in your business big time.
Organic social media is not something that you immediately think of when you think of home services. For me, organic social makes a ton of sense for anything e-com related, makes a ton of sense for media, music, TV. Organic social, there's some folks I'm connected with on Twitter/X that are doing it. Tyler, the stump grinder guy on Twitter, getting a lot of organic social, but it's not really something that most HVAC owners are going to jump to. So talk to me a little bit about how you guys think about organic social as a growth tool for your clients.
Yeah, I do think it's overlooked. I would completely agree with you there. I think a lot of people don't think, well, they're going to go to Facebook or Instagram to look for an HVAC company. And that's actually not true at all. What we've seen is that social media can be in the top 3 or 4 drivers of new leads if it's done properly. So kind of the way we look at it is if you're a company doing up to, let's say 4 or 5 million a year in top line revenue, I think you should honestly be managing that in-house yourself. And we typically are going to give guidance on how to do that. When you're out with an install, get a quick customer testimonial, get photos, show photos of your fleet, team training, tips, anything you can do to give education to your customers. And even if you're posting once or twice a week, that's better than nothing. Because what's going to happen is I always talk about the term barrier to entry. And in my book, The Marketing Revolution, I talk a lot about barrier to entry. What you have to think about is what boxes are the customers checking before you ever hear from them through a contact form or a phone call. So they start the process for looking, right? They don't have a comfort club. They don't have a brand they're loyal to. So they get on Google on their phone and they start looking. Well, first of all, they have to find you. That's our job. But then they're going to start checking the boxes. Well, what are their reviews? Do they cover my service area? Can they get out here today? Are they active on social media? What are people saying about them there? And so, if they're going to Instagram and they're going to Facebook to look up your business and you're active on there at least once a week and you're putting out helpful content, then you're checking that box. Now, for our bigger clients, 5 million and above, typically those clients are having us manage their social media because now we're posting 3, 4, 5 times a week, but we're doing really fun stuff. We're doing on-site photo shoots. We're doing, birthdays. We're doing, local contests. We're doing community involvement. It's not just constant post of a testimonial and a picture of an HVAC. Like we're really making it interesting and fun because at the end of the day, and you'll hear Holly say this, who runs our social media, the whole thing is for the consumer to see this is a great company that's involved in our community and I want to do business with them. That's the whole goal. And then beyond there, if you do have an active social media profile, then you can boost those posts and use Meta to get in front of an audience in an entirely new way. And so, that's kind of my 2 cents on social media. I think it's a very valuable and underutilized tool.
Yeah, love it. And tell us a little bit more about the book. Was it The Market Revolution, you said?
Yeah, The Marketing Revolution. Yeah,
Marketing
I put
Revolution,
it
yeah.
out on Amazon about 11 months ago.
Awesome. We'll link to it for sure.
Yeah. So definitely, and anybody watching, if they want a signed copy, I'm happy to get some books in the mail. But really, the book was, my 25 years, 5 companies, 3 acquisitions, and just saying, okay, if I was starting over, or if I had a business and I really didn't know a lot about marketing, but I wanted to learn, I wrote that book to my fellow entrepreneurs, and it's also also has a user guide, so it has questions throughout the book that you can answer. You can download our HVAC playbook for success, our top 10 marketing mistakes, our website audit checklist. Like, there's a lot of free resources that go with the book, and the whole intent, and like I've talked about this for years, and it's still so true, is an educated customer is a great customer. So when we have a prospect come to us, we just signed up a new company up in Maryland this week, and they already knew so much about what they wanted.
Right.
They just knew that they didn't have a partner that was like delivering tactical results. That's going to be a great customer for us because we aren't going to spend a lot of time explaining the why behind what we're doing. We're going to start explaining the tactic and the reasoning of how we're going to grow this company. And so the marketing revolution is intended to be just that. It's a quick read. It's an easy read. It's interactive. You can share it with your team. And the hope is that you walk away and go, okay, I have a lot of tools in my tool belts now where I can really be a better owner operator and really understand this game of marketing better, which ultimately leads to better decisions and less ad waste.
Let's talk about, pricing, packaging, tiers, the way you think about bringing on a new customer, right? You signed up a new customer in Maryland. Love to hear it. I think for some people listening or people, I think there's a conception or misconception a lot of people have that marketing is a cost center. Okay. My company, we build a software that the goal is to have you earn 10 times more money than you pay us. And I think a lot of people want marketing to do the same thing. We want you to pay us, making up a number, $2,000 a month, but our efforts get you 10 grand or 20 or 50 grand a month. But I think a lot of people who have never seen those results, whether through having never done it before or having had bad experiences in the past with marketing agencies, simply think they're going to be throwing money to the wind. So how do you think about getting a new client started, the things you're doing early on to have them be successful, and then how you're pricing it to make sure that it's ROI positive for them?
Yeah, really good. So I was actually mentored for a couple of years by one of the biggest speakers in this space, and we really went over our pricing a lot because he worked with our brand for about 2 years. And the way we look at it is we look at three tiers: 1 to 5 million, 5 to 15, and then 15 and up. That's how we price our three tiers. And I want to be careful with this idea of like package pricing because sometimes people don't like that idea. They think, well, I want a custom package for me. Well, this is a custom package for you. What we've done is we've looped in all of our services in addition to all the weekly things that we're doing, in addition to our monthly strategy sessions, which we'll talk about, so that we're not coming in and hitting you for this and that and the other. It's more of, hey, we're going to deliver way more than you're expecting, and you just pay one fee for that. Now, how are our fees covered and can we make up for them? So I'll give you a couple of real life examples. We have a client that we took on at the end of last year in Q4. We identified through their pay-per-click advertising, they're a big company, and we identified about 100,000 in ad waste. And so what ad waste is, quite simply for people watching, is people are clicking on keywords or ads that are not converting into a customer. So let's say, for example, you have an HVAC term on Google, a keyword as they call it. And you go, okay, last 2 months, that thing got 10 clicks at $300 a click. So that's $3,000, but we never actually got a conversion off of that. So that's ad waste. Now, can you expect to always have ad waste? Absolutely. Is 100,000 erroneous? Yes, it's ridiculous. So a lot of our fees for that client are made up in just managing their pay-per-click strategy better. Now, this client also has done about $450,000 over budget in Q1. So what does that mean? Well, now we've got them in the black. Now they are beyond making money off of our tactics because they took their last few years and they said, okay, this is our average. This is our goal for 2025 for each month. We put their budget together. So when we see that we are far exceeding that goal each month, we know that we're giving them a multiple on their return. We have a client that we just met with that last month they beat their budget by 94%. So you're going to have, what you're going to see is the amount of money that you paid a hero is going to pale in comparison to the efficiency we have, because we definitely look at this as like it's like a financial planner. We're your responsible party for your money, and we're going to treat it very carefully. So you're going to save money in the ad waste. You're going to save money from, not switching back and forth to bag tactics. And then you're going to make money because our portfolio proves it. When we meet with a new client, we open our books and we disclose the revenue. We hide the clients' names, but we share the area and the revenue so that people can see, okay, this is factual data. This company can show us where they're making money for their clients. So I think that is, again, something very unique. Now, when a client signs on with Hero, we do require that they do a monthly strategy session with us. So we'll get in a little bit into what we do each week because it's important as an owner operator to understand our tactics there and how it makes them money. But what we do on our strategy session is we have access to their CRM. We pull their channels that are driving leads. We pull their call rail reports, so we're tracking calls. We pull revenue. We pull new jobs. We pull new customers gained, new customer service, average revenue per customer. Again, going back to my point about Casey, our client growth strategist, she's been an owner operator. So she knows what data our clients want to look for. So we have that data prepared for our team. So what we do is when the client's books close, we have about a 72 to 96 hour cooling period to make sure everything's in. And then our team starts pulling that data. And then we have a standing monthly meeting and say, okay, here's how you did last month and last quarter. Here are things we want to work on. Here are the things we think we can improve upon. And so then the client is never chasing us down. They're always seeing their revenue and their numbers from us, from their CRM, very transparently. And then we can, again, make tactical decisions on that information and continue to, to move forward with, ideally beating revenue each month, month over month.
That proactive reporting is worth its weight in gold in and of itself. If that's all a service was, is, hey, here's a monthly recap of your business and how you compared to the previous month. I mean, that is just so valuable for a business owner and something that I think a lot of entrepreneurs can't necessarily find the time to do. Let's talk about the hottest of hottest topics. There's no hotter topic right now than two simple letters, AI, right? It's I'm building an AI company. I use AI every single day for my business, going through due diligence for investor meetings. I'm not a CPA, but I'm talking with ChatGPT on how to balance a balance sheet and pull a P&L and make it look right in QuickBooks. And AI has just become this massive tool. And I think for people like you and I, marketing, digital folks, software people who are always on the cutting edge, it's just so obvious. Like if you're not using AI, like you're missing out. But I think for the trades and SMBs, folks who are still coming around respectfully to the idea that a website matters, AI may be on the back of their mind. So how are you at Hero Marketing thinking about AI internally, thinking about AI for your clients? And would just love to hear kind of your perspective on this sea-changing technology.
Yeah, great question. So, let's talk about website first, because I think it's still a big debate on if Google penalizes AI content or not. From all of our research and the things that we receive from Google, it still seems as though there is the opportunity to be penalized if you're using AI to write your web content. So what we still do at Hero is we have our own in-house writers for really three things: website content, blogs, and then new website content creation. So if you have an existing website, we're adding two. If you have a brand new website, we need to write the full strategy and content. And then, of course, the blogs that we're writing each month so that we're constantly adding new content into those websites. So we personally believe that handwritten research content is still the best in that. However, we use AI quite a bit to help us with writing Google advertising, to help us with review management, to help us with data pools and heat maps. Here's my take on AI. AI is only as good as the expert human using the AI. So do we use it as a tool? Yes. Do we use it to shortcut or cheat things that really need to be human monitored and driven? No. I think we all have ChatGPT open anymore. I love ChatGPT. It helps me write great emails. It helps me come up with ideas. But at the end of the day, I still firmly believe that the human driving the bus needs to make that rational decision on, is this good content? Is this good tactic? Is this good strategy? Is this something that we can use?
Big box marketers. I won't name any names, but I know there's some big companies out there, thousands of employees, and they are doing marketing for the trades. How do you think about those bigger companies, some of the benefits and value they may drive with the scale that they have compared to I don't know the exact size of Hero Marketing in terms of employees. You can talk through that, but how you think about a
Mhm.
more independent, bespoke agency for an HVAC owner who just hit 2 million, they're looking to get to 5 million, and they're thinking through, oh, should I go with big brand name with 17,000 Google reviews for my agency, or perhaps a smaller, more independent agency like Hero? Would love to just hear how, you think about that kind of difference between the two.
Yeah, I think it's well, I know for us personally, we took between May and September of last year, we took 9 pretty sizable companies away from a big box competitor and moved them to Hero. Here's kind of what I hear that I don't think any business owner at any scale likes, whether it's big box or just a big company, is I felt like I was always chasing my representative down. I felt like my account rep didn't know anything about my business. I felt like I was being given dashboards that I couldn't make sense of. And I felt like I was not aware of what was really helping my business. In fact, my business was probably hurting. And that's why we came to Hero Marketing. So I think it's kind of like, we were in healthcare for a long time. And the way I look at big box versus what we do is, if you're having a problem with your health, do you really want to go to the big, huge hospital and have to go through that mess? Or do you want to go to Dr. Smith down the road where you walk right into his office? He's going to give you a personalized care plan and he's going to treat you with excellence. So Hero is not a small company, but we're not 1,000 employees either. We are very happy that we feel like we are a national brand. We have about 25 people on our team, but the way our leadership is structured is we feel like we give that very personalized attention and strategy to our clients so that they get the benefits of a larger company like ours with the tactics and the tools to drive success, but with that very personalized, again, family founded approach. And I think that's the perfect blend, at least for us. It seems to be the perfect blend for the clients that we serve. And so I think that, is there a place for the big box marketing agencies anymore? I don't know. I mean, obviously they're there and they're serving customers, but I think the results are always going to be very mixed. And I think their attrition is going to be very high because these companies are going to come in, they're going to see all the shiny new things and it sounds great. And then within 8, 12 months, they're going to realize I'm really not getting anything for what I'm paying for. And I don't have a personalized marketing plan. And so I need to go find somebody that can serve me with excellence.
Recently wrote and released a book looking to double the client base over the next 12 months, it sounds like. Josh, how are you thinking about the next 6, 12, 18, 24 months for the business? What are you focused on and what's got you excited coming up in the future here?
Yeah. Couple of things. So internally, we have made some operational changes just to make client task management and request and onboarding and communication with our team that much better. One of the biggest things is when clients have tasks, they're like, I'd like to know what have I submitted? When is it going to be done? Who's working on it? So we have now built out a custom task management software where a client can go to our website, they can enter their request or task or question, and then it's going to go into their private dashboard where they can see who's working on it, the status of the task, and also previous task requested. So I think that communication key is really important and something our clients have been asking for that we delivered on. From a performance standpoint, the revenue for our portfolio is very good. Our clients are all growing extremely well and they're doing good. So you say, okay, well, then what's next for Hero as we want to continue to grow and serve more people? Because that's our passion and that's our mission. Slow, steady growth so that we don't lose the DNA of who we are. And so as we continue to vet and hire new team members, they have to have worked in the trades. We touched on that earlier. That's a really important thing for us is that they have home service experience. Um, you know, yes, we are looking to double our portfolio by the end of 2026, and we are well on our way to do that. But, we do a lot of vetting of the people that reach out to us. So we have clients really learn about Hero in 2 different ways. They either see one of our ads on Facebook or Instagram, and then they fill out a lead form for more interest. Or even better, they come to one of our webinars where they get to, hey, Casey and I are the host of that, and we'll have a topic for whatever that quarter is. And it's really cool because what we found is that people are like, I really spent an hour. I got to know who you were, and I could make a decision very quickly if you're the kind of people I want to do business with or not. And the goal is that people leave with a great amount of education. And so I think for us, it's a blend of art and science. It is that desire to grow, because if any business is not growing, they're dying. but it's also that desire to bring the right kind of people into our portfolio that are going to benefit most from our business model and that are going to fit into, the hero family well. It's one fun thing that I always do is when a new client signs up with us, I always say, welcome to the hero family. And we genuinely mean that. We want you to fit in well with us. We want to meet your team and fit in well with you. And we want to have a very long lasting partnership and relationship.
Amazing. Anything we didn't talk about, Josh, that you wanted to dive into or share with the audience here before we wrap up?
Yeah, let's talk about if you're thinking about making a change. I think that, again, I talk to a lot of people every
Yeah.
week, a lot of home service business owners, and they're like, oh my gosh, Josh, I mean, it's April, it's about to get busy. I know what we're doing is not working, but I'm scared of change. Our largest growth period? Our largest growth period is between May and September. And you're like, that can't be possible. That's when everybody is so busy. The last thing they're thinking about is marketing. And the opposite is true. The problems they have are so exposed when that busy season gets here that it's like we have to make a change and we have to make a change now. So what I want to talk about as we close is like let's address what that change looks like because it doesn't need to be scary and it doesn't need to be a long process. Our onboarding takes just a few days. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that you again have access to all of your intellectual property, your website, your Google Ads, your Google Business Profile. Those are kind of the three main ones. And so we're going to take a quick assessment of your business. You're going to give us access to those as your new marketing firm. We're going to do an audit of your market area and your brand. And then we are going to be prepared to deploy tactics within just a few days. So from start to finish, you're talking about like 5 to 10 business days between somebody terminating a contract or an agreement with a previous agency and onboarding with Hero. You're going to meet our co-founder, Bob, and his team. You're going to meet Casey, our client strategist. You're going to meet with Jessica, our director of paid media, and you're going to meet with me personally. And we are going to ensure that as you go through that onboarding process, that it is quick, that it's effective, and so that you can make up that time very rapidly. So like if you're sitting here going, okay, it's early April. I'm ready to be with somebody by May 1st so that I can make the most out of summer. You can make that leap with us without being fearful that it's going to be a painful process. It's actually going to be smooth and you're going to have that monkey off your back and we're going to be rocking and rolling quick and it's going to be the best decision you've ever made. So I think that's important just because I hear a lot of comments about, oh man, changing to a new agency is going to be tough. I don't know if it's worth it. Well, is making money and having a successful business worth it? Yes. Then let's make that onboarding quick and get you making some money and happier with your performance.
Amazing. Busy season's coming up. No better time to strike while the iron's hot and grow your business. So Josh, where can folks that are listening, reading the newsletter, where can they connect with you personally? And where can they learn more about your book, Hero Marketing, if they want to learn more about your services? Let folks know where they can find you.
Yeah, absolutely. So our website is marketlikeahero.com. Feel free to reach out to me directly. I capture those emails and would be happy to set up a discovery call. You can do that at josh@marketlikeahero.com. And so those are the two best ways to reach us. And then what we can do is get some time on the calendar. We can talk about some of the struggles and pains that you're facing. And then if it's a good fit, then we'll take it from there.
All right, Josh, thanks so much for coming on and hope you have a great rest of your week.
Hey, thank you so much. You too. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.